Hello and welcome back to my channel. So this will be a video about my second game of the Bloodstorm Tournament. Against Daughters of Khaine this one will be. So this is my list, Sentinels of the Bleak Citadels, with Primal Energy, Celestin Prime, he's back, baby. Lord Terminals with Quicksilver Draft and Shock and Awe. Then we have Reclusions reinforced, Long Strikes reinforced, Paladros with Javelins, and a Knight Arcanum with 2 units of Quastar Soulsworn. It's a bit of a balanced army, which I kind of like because I am still learning the game. I would say I'm still learning the game because I'm about half a year in, still making some pretty rookie mistakes, I would say, but otherwise doing quite alright. This was the venue, a lovely little community center where we have the tables and option to play our games. This is my army, and as said in the previous video, I did get the player's choice for the best painted, and I also won the best painted prize. This is the first time in my life that I have won best painted for an army, so I was really happy to put this one in the pocket. Second matchup. So we are playing Daughters of Khaine. I have never played against Daughters of Khaine. I happen to have a full Dark Elf army at home from Warhammer Fantasy, fully capable of playing Daughters of Khaine, so I am very curious as to how this is going to pan out. Lovely model of Morathi, lovely green hair for the lady snakes, and lovely deployment from my side. We are playing Battle for the Boss. My deployment is this way, and my opponent's deployment is this way. So how does this work again? Yeah, my opponent has 3 drops, so I can. He won the roll to force me to deploy something. No, he didn't. I won, and I made him deploy something first, and he deployed this guy, lady. Then I deployed my forces as such. No, it's not even true. He forced me to start because this is already everything that I'm gonna put down. So my first drop on the table was my Quest of Soulsworn with the Quest of Soulsworn objective. So I thought this was a good placement for them. My opponent has to stay 9 inches away from the objective. So there's 18 inches between us. Morathi can get anywhere, anytime, anyway. So if that is the only thing I have to be afraid of, it's fine. He can also put his snakes down there. He can charge into my dudes here. I still have the option of putting my long strikes here, possibly, but not after I put the rest down, basically. So it's also that I have actually. I'm rambling a lot this video apparently. I have the choice of whether I go first or second. So if I deploy such that I can go first, then I might as well go first maybe. Depending on the deployment of my opponent, obviously. So if my opponent deploys very aggressively, then I will go first maybe, just to tag him in and decide where we're going to fight at which point. And I also have my Javelin Warriors for this, to just be able to go anywhere on the board from their location, basically, to move up as far on the field as possible as well. Prime goes on the table because he's more valuable on the table than off the table, and the Knight Arcanum needs to be on the table to attack the objective and to cast a spell the first round. After deployment, so this is what my opponent did. He put Morathi bang in the middle, which I was actually quite surprised by because I thought that she was quite vulnerable, and I don't think I would do this necessarily. So there's some tricks that you can do with Morathi. One of them is that you can swap out her placement with the little Morathi. Little Morathi is here in this case. So I thought what you would do, generally, is put little Morathi at front if your opponent doesn't have anything on the board that can first turn charge into her. Big Morathi in the back, because she has guarded hero and I cannot target her. Then at the start of your turn you can swap them out, you can move this one up and charge in somewhere. Anyways, this is what my opponent did. He put the combat snakes in the forest. He has a combat character snake. He has both snakes on the objective. He has witch elves here. And then skirmishing unit and another skirmishing unit. So for my first trick, what am I gonna do? I took a picture of Marathi. That's the first thing that I did. Okay. So yeah, it was my opponent that had turn first turn actually, because I saw this and I was like, okay, so you don't have that much in terms of threat range on first turn. You can move up your Marathi. You can try a charge on like probably a 9 or something. I can easily redeploy from that. You don't have any range damage at the start of the turn unless he was playing the teleport faction, so he could teleport one of his units. But in that case, you just redeploy a little bit different. You countercharge, you do whatever, and it doesn't really matter that much. So my opponent, what does he do? He moves up Marathi. I do redeploy as indicated. He took take the land on this objective or on this terrain piece, which I actually understand because I don't have anything on the table right now. So it is quite easy for him to score this one. So he does attack these two objectives. He moves up a little bit. He leaves these in the forest because he's very afraid of my long strikes. But I'm like, sure, I can basically just shoot anything in your list, right? It doesn't matter if I shoot these or anything else. It just hurts. So yeah, this is his first turn, and I was a little bit impressed. I think impressed might be the good word. Throwing out Marathi in a very vulnerable position. Like for my list, it is also quite easy to just reach the threshold of 3 damage or overcommit. But ranged 3 damage is quite manageable for me, especially against such a big model that I can target. So my turn, what do? I look at the army and I go like, okay, right, do not waver is the battle plan that I can do this round probably, and not any of the other rounds, because Marathi is gonna just go crazy. Having not played against Daughters at any point, I don't know how likely it is that I will score Do Not Waver any other round. So the prime goes into these guys as the plan, and these guys can actually go into Marathi. She's not on the charge, so he doesn't have the +1 rend if she charges. And I might be able to survive this with 15 wounds and finest hour and all our defense. So let's go, I thought. Well, I did something differently. So I did go for Do Not Waver. And yeah, this is basically the end of the turn. So my prime, he went in and he killed the support unit. This is already a bit later in the game. This is my end of second turn after movement, I think. So my Vanguard Palaros, they went into the combat snakes. I think this was maybe a worse idea. But then again, I thought, well, actually, if I attack these, then Marathi doesn't have a benefit of changing place. I think this is actually the end of my turn, yeah. So Marathi doesn't have a benefit of changing place to get out of combat in this place if she doesn't like the combat. And I can actually attack the snakes so they can't get out of there, and I keep the initiative. So that was a master plan. This guy then he must have powered through it or something. Oh, I took a double. That was it. I took a double. So, anyways, they go in there. They just barely survive. This is still with my token that I had extra defenses and saves. And then I do score my battle tactic, and then later I put these guys over here. Where's Marathi in the previous picture? She's still there. How did these guys get over there? Then I put them there. I took the double, I put them there. This is my opponent's turn. Yeah. Wait. First, I put the reclusions over here, just to protect the objective from Morathi, because I have to strike first once per game. And I thought, well then, sure, maybe Morathi doesn't die, because you can only get 3 damage, but I will be able to do my 3 damage. And if my opponent wants to take this objective, it's going to be incredibly hard, because he has to kill the terminals, basically. Because Lord Terminals gives himself and the reclusions +3 control. I still have my Knight Arcanum on the objective as well. So I'll have 2 + 3 + 3 + 2, 10 plus the reclusions. So Morathi can't take my objective then. So me doubling. First turn I don't put down the long strikes because I feel like the board is too open still to enable me to do this. Second turn I do put them down because I take the double because my prime otherwise would get charged by the Witch Elves, and I thought that that would not be a good trade because my prime would die, Witch Elves would survive. So I could take the double. This guy's still stuck in combat because this is still the picture done before combat. So the prime sets up for a charge onto the Witch Elves with the aim of just obliterating them, or at least holding them in place. The long strikes can drop here now because I have closed off this lane. Maybe Morathi can get to them, sure. But in the first turn of the game, I didn't do any damage to her. Second turn of the game, I did 3 damage to her. This turn I'm gonna do 3 damage. She could actually get in there and try to kill the long strikes. Don't know why he didn't want to do that. So I could have positioned the reclusions maybe a bit more back, such that her back of the base would still be in 3 inches at this point. Don't know if it would have been possible, but maybe I could have denied the charge. Oh, that was it. I had the Gnashing Jaws that I cast in the previous turn, and then I locked her in combat so that she couldn't move. Wow, this is really a lot of stuff that's a bit different than I thought. Because I locked her in combat. Oh, she just killed the Jaws. Never mind. So, yeah, a bit more thinking, a bit less talking before I'm just saying random stuff. So yeah, Prime locks this. Long strikes get to shoot at Morathi a little bit and at the witches. Reclusions close the door here, and my opponent basically. I like doing this to my opponents where part of their army is just secluded from the rest, and I set the pace for how the destruction happens. So, Prime cleans up a lot of Witch Elves and power throughs to snatch the back objective from my opponent. I know that my Prime here is gonna likely die anyway because of the combat snakes. Marathi goes for the sorcerers, so it goes for my back objective. That makes sense. Goes for the sorcerers or for the Knight Arcanum. Yeah, might as well do that once you're there. I guess. But I don't know if the back objective is worth it. I mean, on the other hand, it is 5 points, and you're playing for points and not for killing troops. So, in that sense, it does make sense. Otherwise, in my turn, I think I also spawned a unit of Soulsworn on the edge, by the way. So, yeah, my opponent, he takes, I believe, Lady Entourage, kills Prime, and that is all as well. Takes my back objective, scores some points. But after that, this is what is happening. So I go onto the objective here with my long strikes with the run. Spend a command point to do so because I want to be on the objective, because I will likely kill Morathi because Morathi is at 9 hit points taken, and my opponent informed me she only has 12. I thought she had 15, but she only has 12. So I'm quite comfortable that I can take her out this round. I just want to be on the objective when I do so, and I just prepare for a smackdown of this stuff. So this is my quest marked objective. These guys want to be on the objective. These are my reclusions. They want to just kill stuff. these are another unit of Soulsworn. They're also headed that way. This objective is still mine. My opponent could still get there with some effort, but it's not that likely. Let's see what the next factor brings. It brings destruction. So Marathi killed, 2 witch elves left, crying in the corner, and a lot of slaughter basically. These guys, they actually make it here into these flyers. How far was this? Did I move first? I think I still. Maybe I just made an 8-inch charge. I think I made a long charge and I actually made it. Wow. So final tower on the Soulsworn because they would be going in anyways. They go in. I pile in, I believe. Still not sure. I did pile in, yes. Look at this. Look at this marvel. So this guy can move 3 inches to go on the objective. This is my quest marked objective, so I do get a 5 of Aegis for the entire unit, because one guy is just a little bit on the objective. That is marvelous. So yeah, I do attack the bow snakes, which is of course great. I do some damage on this. I can spring my Quicksilver Draft combo, because I haven't done that yet. So first terminal strikes at these guys, then the Reclusions pile in on these guys, then the Quest of Soulsworn pile in on these guys and these guys. And then at that point, actually my damage was not even sufficient to kill all of them. I have no clue what the Reclusions died to in this situation. Did it die to something? I think they got strike last from these guys, so I couldn't actually attack them with the Lord Terminals or pick them as a unit eligible to fight. So then I first had to strike with these guys, and then I didn't do enough damage to really cripple the snakes. I could have tried to ignore that on a 3-up. Me, dummy. Should have tried to do that. Yeah, but anyways, we are in combat. It's looking rather bleak for the Daughters. I think I haven't even brought back a unit at half strength at this point. So yeah, these snakes still try to make a bit of a play for this objective in the back, and the witch elves still want to go there, but I do have covering fire as well. So the snakes get out, and this is my last picture. It's a bit blurry, so let's go to the previous. Snakes get out. I pile into the objective with the terminals to make sure I control this with a ton of control. My opponent did get back some witch elves from a rally, and he actually charged in here. Still decimated these guys to like 2 models or something, but the witch elves died. The witch elves at the end of the game, they strike with an impressive amount of force. It's quite remarkable. So for my own army, for Daughters of Khaine, I was considering just running 2 small units of witch elves, just to die in the first 2 turns, and then reinforce it with like 3 big units of witch elves to just murder everything afterwards. Yeah, so I think I played this out quite well. Couple of small mistakes. So setup was fine. I think that was fine. Just a bit of threat of this guy. Didn't really want to meet Marathi with my prime because I thought that would be a waste of my high quality attacks. I'd rather just do 3 damage, get on with it. So yeah, zoning out Marathi a little. Well, not really zoning out, but just dealing with Marathi decently. Trading the prime for the witch elves. Was it good or not? I mean, you have to send in something, and then it's gonna get countercharged anyways. Or maybe if you tag 3 units at the same time, like if I tag the witch elves with 1 unit, anything that charges into here and doesn't strike first is gonna get annihilated because of the crit models. So the witch elves I can survive if they strike without in their off turn. So that is a learning point. That is really a key learning point. that I can charge these and just expect to survive. These guys, it's more difficult because as an opponent, if you just don't manage to get through the airstrike last effect, then you're gonna be fucked. But then again, reclusions are quite good at that, ignoring it on a 3+. So should think about that next time. Yeah, but otherwise, I think I played out most of the game just very well. End of the game could use a little bit of help still. Like I should have closed off the gap to this objective with the pylons, because he charged, he moved 8, he charged here, then he wanted to pylon on the objective. Like I did a redeploy to try and then do something here because I had the command point anyway. Could have just turned them in this line to make sure that they could never get there. But yeah, small details. It was a very big win for the Stormcast, with my opponent not scoring that much during the entire game and my own army scoring 10 points every round. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you then next time.